can hear me? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
All right, that's what it is. It is Hump Day Wednesday, the 19th day of July. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the Paul Breakfast Show on Paul 102 Digital. It is Wednesday, full cast in. Paul Richards, he's in. You just heard him with our news brief. Wendell Stephen, he'll pop in. Ruben, he's lying down on his couch. My name is Steve Khan. We'll keep you company until 9 o'clock this morning. All right, let's get straight into the WTC. What's happening with weather and traffic? Traffic, nothing to tell you about. East, west, north, and south, nothing to tell you about. It is 26 degrees at Piarco International Airport, same at Crown Point in Tobago. What's the weather going to be like for today? Sunshine will likely be interrupted by a few intervals of cloudiness and showers. There's also a medium 40 to 60% chance of isolated thunderstorm activity. This evening will be generally settled apart from the odd isolated shower. All right. There is some Sahara dust in the atmosphere. All right. Let's see who sent us hellos first thing this morning. A lot of people get up at midnight to say hellos. So let's see. Today is Wednesday. Ken E has disappeared. Wendy Ann, good morning. Oliver Man Warren, it's Hump Day Wednesday. Good morning, Oliver. Garcillian Valencia, Maria Marva, DJ Ray out in Delaware. Miss Ingrid, Scorch in Arizona. Good morning to you. Rena Bodo Jennings, Carol Guevara. On YouTube, saying good morning, good night to Marcia Rock. Good morning to Edwin Marshall. Good morning to Paul Richards. Got you there. I got you.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Good Wednesday morning to you.
What's happening?
Nice
What's happening?
Cool morning. It's a wonderfully cool morning in Trinidad and Tobago. But
Yeah,
Trinidad and Tobago. I'm presuming Tobago also.
Yeah. Same weather here, same weather across there.
I feel like I'm back in London. It's so cool. But it's not cool there now. It's getting hotter. So
yeah. That reminds me, I didn't give you time to across our listenership, and just get upset. Toronto, you're at 16 and sunny. Miami, you're at 28. Ooh, cloudy. Orlando, 25. New York, 22. Las Vegas, I'm saying Las Vegas because it's 33 degrees. They're going up to a high of 43. Ouch. Atlanta, 24. London, Paul, 20. Partly cloudy.
For now.
Yep. Tampa, you're at 25. Washington, D.C., you're at 22. Good morning to Ray out in West Palm Beach, Florida. Good morning to you. Send us a message via YouTube. Good morning, Wendell Stephen.
Hi, good morning, gentlemen, and good morning, listeners and viewers in Trinidad and, of course, all over the globe where we have several different people looking and listen to us. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. It's sunny outside. I wasn't expecting it to be so clear, but it looks like it'll be a nice day. Yesterday,
we had some rain, but that's about it.
Rainy.
Okay.
Frozen?
All right.
I'm not frozen.
Yeah.
I know somebody started to talk, so I stopped.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's freeze real good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could freeze. You could live in the jungle and be them animals for you in a day. If you just freeze and
Yeah, man. Easily. My laptop really annoys me now. You hearing that noise?
Yeah.
All these things are popping up. Is every second something is popping up called blog lines. I don't know. It just, and the minute you delete one, more comes. It just come. It's annoying. I don't know what caused that.
That's when they accept
Blog
cookies.
line. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I don't accept cookies at all.
Sometimes you can't. There are some things you can't open unless you say you accept them.
Well, I do open them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do open them.
But I'll have to carry it by an expert and let them delete this. It really is annoying every time you put on your laptop. You have to delete all until it stops coming.
Well, if I do a backup and tell them to flash the whole laptop.
Yeah. I'll get it sorted out. But yeah, we're happy to be in the land of the living. Of course, condolences to those who would have lost loved ones, and happy birthday to those who are celebrating birthdays today. Like, let me find my birthdays before we move on. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? I had so many things posted yesterday. You know, of course, the campaign, the local government campaign continues in earnest. PNM was in Siparia last night. I don't know where the UNC were. I know that they had a live broadcast the night before that I looked at temporarily. You know, don't ask me why, but I looked at it because I know it might come up in a program or something, you know. And I want nobody
UNC is at Ryson Road at SWWT Hall tonight.
Yes, and I was wondering if they had looked at the cricket schedule, they would have done it on Thursday, because I'm sure a lot of their Central and South supporters would be in town on Thursday and would probably help them fill the hall. But they might have a little problem tonight. You know, I said that to them. I said, but why would they come in on Wednesday and cricket starts in the Oval on Thursday? Wait until Thursday, and when people finish cricket, they will stop by your meeting and
You telling everyone to have the meeting? Were you out of place?
No, I just made a
You
suggestion.
trying to tell everyone to have the meeting?
I didn't say that publicly, you know. I said that very privately. I'm now saying it publicly.
Yeah.
Where am I? I can't find my birthdays. I can't find my birthdays.
Like they will take advice somewhere, you know?
Yeah?
I said like they will take advice somewhere though.
Well, I know the PNM is very strategic when they hold their meetings. That much I could tell you. The UNC now struggling to pull a little hole. But then I always tell people when somebody pointed out how they had a scattered among the people in Taruba, I said UNC don't have to do nothing for the vote. Don't get tied up. The people who go in and vote for UNC, they don't need a campaign. They don't need a candidate to convince them to go and vote. They don't need a political leader to inspire them. They go in and vote for the UNC regardless. In Kuva, Tabakit, in Princestown, in Pinal Davy, you don't need. They don't care who the candidate is. They don't care what the message is. They go in and vote. If it's one thing I admire the UNC loyal fanatics for, the loyal supporters for, they don't need to be inspired to vote. You understand? They've shown that over the years. They don't need to be inspired to vote.
And the PNM supporters need to be inspired to vote?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
The hardcore PNM supporters will tell you out front, oh, the candidate didn't even pass and ask am I vote? No, I ain't going out. You gotta talk and literally beg. That's how it has always been. I ain't this thing long enough. The UNC supporters, they go in and vote, which is why I don't get tired up with crowd. Because PNM does have a lot of crowd, and PNM couldn't have had a bigger crowd than in 2010. It was the largest among the people gathered ever for the final rally for PNM in 2010. And guess what? Guess what was the result 2 days later? 3 days later. Because that was the Saturday. The election was the Monday. By the Tuesday morning, it was 29-10. 29-12. 29-12. And it was the biggest crowd ever for a PNM final rally. Crowd? Not me. Since then, I don't get tired with crowd. I learned my lesson. You know? But anyway, the Prime Minister, of course, yesterday spent a long time, well, for the entire afternoon on our radio program. And he basically...
I know. I was saying you lapsed there, Wendell.
I didn't lapse. I messaged the Prime Minister a while back. He said he will come, and he asked me if a particular person is still there for the second time. And I told him no. So he said he'll make the arrangements. I did my part. You understand?
But I would imagine you have to follow up, you know.
You had to follow up.
Well, I did send a message to Darian yesterday to tell him, hey, remember he owed me an interview.
The Prime
And
Darian is the Prime Minister's booking agent.
And no, because I know Darian was interviewing him. So I sent him a message.
So Darian is going to relay a message for booking on another radio station.
For me, yes, he will.
Okay.
He will do it for me.
We'll see how that works out.
And he did it, so we'll see how it works out in truth. But he did clear up the issue of the vetting unit and so on. And he said, well, I mean, I don't know how we didn't understand that, because SAUT, S-A-U-T-T, was in fact a vetted unit of people coming into the service to be in a special unit to investigate certain levels of crime and criminality within the services. SAUT was that. And they were paid extra. You understand? He even said, even to be, to go further up the ranks, assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, you have to be vetted. You are questioned. You understand?
Gideon Dixon was our guest yesterday and said that all officers coming into the service since 2010 are vetted. You wonder you're muted for some reason. He also said that the Professional Standards Bureau is not at its full complement. It's at 20%, I think he said, or 30%. And that is significantly impacting their ability to do the same investigative work on potentially corrupt officers.
So who's responsible for staff in the professional
standards? Well, yeah, excuse me. So if you have a division in the police service that is responsible for investigating allegations of corruption and wrongdoing of officers, barely 1/3 staffed, do you think they can operate effectively?
No. So didn't you ask him who's responsible for staff in the PSB? And why isn't the PSB fully staffed?
And in addition to that, resources. So, I mean, come on. If we're serious, we're serious. If we're not serious, we're not serious.
Well, to me, that's a question. That's a question for the hierarchy of the police service and for Mr. Dixon himself. Or Mr. Dixon is not a junior officer. He said these and other issues have been raised with the Commissioner of Police and the Minister of National Security. Well, I don't know how the Minister of National Security getting that, because if you have a complement, you don't hire people to go straight into the PSB. You take officers from amongst.
So I am sure the cabinet is apprised of the resource and staffing issues at the Professional Standard Bureau. I'm almost sure this information is not alien to them.
Where the officers from the PSB coming from? From cabinet?
I never said they're coming from cabinet. I'm saying that they are aware that the division, I'm sure they're aware that the division is understaffed.
But I'm lost.
So just how the cabinet is not responsible for setting up this proposed new unit as proposed by the Prime Minister or the Minister of National Security, I am sure that they are aware and will have some potential input in ensuring that can have some potential input in advising the police service to make sure that the unit is fully staffed and have the resources they need.
You hearing what you're saying, Paul?
Because the Prime Minister is responsible for setting up a new unit in the police service either. The police hierarchy is. Not so?
Exactly. So I don't understand your point.
So my point is, if the Prime Minister can comment on setting up a new unit, I'm sure the Prime Minister can have some input in potentially listening to the woes of the police service in terms of resources and divisions.
The Prime Minister threw out an idea as far as I'm aware, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the Prime Minister can also throw out an idea to have the Professional Standard Bureau for police staff.
But the Professional Standard Bureau officers come from within the current batch of officers.
Exactly. And where will the SAUT officers come from? It'll be from outside the police service? I don't know. I'm asking a question. Where did the previous SAUT officers come from?
Special Anti-Crime Unit was a specific unit.
And where did the officers from that come from?
Yes,
I'm
no, let me
asking a
finish.
question.
Under Mr. Manning, don't play, you don't remember.
And where did those officers come from?
And as a matter of fact, every month the opposition was in parliament.
Where
saying
did
that
those officers for SAUTT come from? When I'm
they
asking
came
a
from
question.
all over. They came from all over. Stop confusing PSB with Special Anti-Crime Unit.
I am not confusing them. I'm asking you a question.
The Special Anti-Crime Unit brought in people from all aspects of life, from the military, from immigration, from customs, from the police, from the army, from civilian. I know a civilian who was part of Special Anti-Crime Unit, right? I knew of a civilian, right? So that is what Special Anti-Crime Unit was meant.
So you're saying the sourcing for both units are different?
The what, sorry?
The sourcing for staff for both units are different. Is
Clearly.
different. Okay.
Yeah, it is. PSB comes from within the service itself. It's officers who have come up through the ranks and so on, and who they would have vetted to be part of the Professional Standards Bureau. I know quite a few officers who are part of the PSB, as a matter of fact. But they came up through the ranks. They didn't come from anywhere else. You understand? And in the PSB, you have a lot of civilians too working in that department. You understand? In clerical positions and so on. Right? So that's a completely different topic. PSB is a completely different topic. PSB could find the staff from amongst the officers there. And I would imagine our commissioner of police would have to do that. And if Mr. Dixon was proactive, he would insist that it happens or lobby for it to happen. You know? So I don't know how you all miss asking him that. Every now and then you all freezing. Is it or is it me freezing?
It's you freezing.
You all freezing.
ICTV6 reported last night that the residence of Chief Secretary Fadi Augustine was searched or visited at least by members of the police white-collar crime unit.
Correct. Well, it was searched because they spent about 3 hours there, they say, and they left with documents.
Right. As part of the ongoing probe or investigation into the audio tape controversy.
Yeah, I saw that on the news last night because I know that the night before they had brought a report that other operatives of the THA's homes were searched, including the former chief administrator. I saw that in the news before. So if that wasn't a signal that they're coming by the chief secretary next, I don't know what was.
Well, I would think it would be really remiss of the police service doing an investigation when the person whose voice was identified by himself as the voice in the controversial audio tape proposing to use taxpayers' funds to staff the THA with propagandists was not searched also. That'd be a crazy investigation, not so?
You would think that his place would be the first one to be searched.
I don't know what the order searches are, but I know in terms of thoroughness and due process and diligence, that his premises would have to be searched if they are searching premises.
But he had a 24-hour notice.
It does give notice for search?
Well, I'm telling you that because they went and searched, Paul, because they went and searched other people plays the day before. You get a 24-hour
He didn't get an official, because I just want to clarify, because the way you say that, you want to get an official, but we coming tomorrow to search your house.
Well,
okay. I guess by inference, you say, well, if they search, they must come in my house soon.
Well, yeah. But they
Which is strange to me. I would have searched his house first.
Well, you would think so, eh?
Since his voice is the voice identified by him or confirmed by him to be the voice on the tape, not so?
Brother man, you see me, nothing surprises me again in Trinidad and Tobago, and especially with the TTPS. Nothing.
I was waiting to ask you, what do you think about the Darrell Smith appointment?
I heard you all speak about it yesterday. I had no problem with it simply because, again, as I said, Darrell was not arrested, not charged for any crime. He lost his job because of inappropriate what was it? What was the words? I think Ruben put
Public
it in
service
the chat.
processes interfering with.
Right. And it probably was as a result of what he was accused of doing before that.
Well,
You
it
understand?
seemed to have been related in some way.
Yes. And he lost his job as a minister. Because the prime minister,
eventually MP.
yeah, because the prime minister had stuck with him for quite a while during the accusations that were pelting left, right, and center, if you remember. And a lot of people was thinking that, well, like he's a favored son, all kind of things people started to say, you know. And eventually the prime minister relented and relieved him of his duties. He remained as an MP up until 2020. And then, of course, he was replaced by Simon de Nobrega.
Because to my knowledge, the prime minister cannot remove you as an MP.
No.
The people who put you, they can remove you as an MP if a certain benchmark in signatures are arrived at, and then it triggers some other process.
Yeah. There's only one person who actually, well, two, who, when they were removed from office, resigned as an MP too, you know, and triggered by elections, you know. That was Arnold Roberts. Well, Arnold Roberts didn't trigger a by-election, but he resigned.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have the by-election because it was close. It was close enough to the general election.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack Warner, of course, resigned his seat, and that triggered a by-election.
And he won.
And then Herbert Volney, well, he didn't voluntarily leave. The parliament took care of him and forced him out because of the Crossing of the Floor Act. And there was a by-election in St. Joseph, right?
Which Terence Dale Singh won.
Yes, which Terence Dale Singh won. He didn't voluntarily leave at all. So those are the three incidents I remember. Reference those issues. Daryl Smith sat on the backbench until the term ended, and then so he's now been given a job where in the US. Is it as a culture?
Well, he's based in the US and has responsibility for Canada also.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm happy for him. I don't see Daryl much. I don't hear from him much.
But he's been very quiet since these incidents.
Yeah. Because Daryl is a good friend of mine. I know the entire Smith
family. Very low profile.
Yeah. I know the family, Daryl and David and sister. I know the father. The father is a deacon in the Catholic Church. You know,
his was an example of how not to conduct yourself in high public office.
Yeah.
Clear example of how not to conduct yourself in high public office.
Yeah.
Because as we said yesterday, he was a rising star in the PNM. He was doing very, very well as chairman of the Diego Martin Regional Corporation, did very well in that position.
Yes.
And then put up for MP and won the seat, you know. So he was doing very well. He was and then was made a minister first time out, you know.
Yes.
He was actually doing very well, and then he let
go ahead.
Circumstances get in his way.
He's gone the way, let's say he's gone the way of many.
He let circumstances get in the way of his progress, his political progress.
But I'm happy that he has gotten a job because he's a bright young man.
I am not in principle against giving somebody a second chance because I don't think any of us have not erred in the past. You understand? Yeah. I think the questions that are raised about the particular position, given his issue as confirmed by the Prime Minister about not following public sector processes where financial transactions are concerned, you understand? Is of concern. Also, the position is an international posting. And as Richard and a caller said yesterday, if somebody Googles his name, it's going to come up.
Yeah.
Whether he was arrested, charged, and convicted or not, it is going to come up in association with his name.
Yeah. Well, remember to put people in these positions. You also have to get the permission of the other government.
Really?
You can't just send someone to these embassies abroad or these agencies abroad. You know, you have to get their clearance.
Well, yeah, at some level, but the government is not necessarily going to intervene in the running of a country, and they will say, well, if the person has a criminal record, they will say no, but he has no criminal record.
Right. So that's
I'm
what I'm
talking
saying.
about from our perspective as a Trinidad Tobago brand ambassador, because that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
He is now a Trinidad and Tobago brand ambassador representing this country in trade negotiations and those sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
But as I said before, I am not in principle against giving somebody a second chance.
Yeah.
I don't think he should spend the rest of his life unworthy of employment.
Exactly.
It's just the particular position. There's a question now over whether that was the right position, but that is the cabinet's decision, but questions will be raised. We can't get away from the questions, especially based on the allegations, which, as I said before, he was never charged nor arrested, and he was not removed officially for that reason.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of
these positions come under is it trade and industry or foreign affairs?
Trade and industry, but of course foreign affairs will have some sort of input because you will have to have a diplomatic passport.
Yeah. But he would have replaced the person who is the foreign affairs minister in Parliament. Dr. Amy Brown was the MP for Diego Martin Central, and Daryl Smith replaced him. If you remember. After those elections there. Dr. Brown served from 2010 to 2015 as the MP. And then and Daryl Smith took over in 2015.
Speaking of which, Jamaica has found itself on diplomatic relations in quite a pickle with the US. After Jamaica has refused to grant diplomatic immunity and privileges to the same-sex spouse of an American diplomat, fueling tensions. The U.S. has denied a request by the Jamaican government to extend the stay of 3 diplomats stationed in Jamaican embassies and consulates in the U.S. because Jamaica said, listen to me, our government doesn't recognize same-sex marriages, and granting these privileges and immunities to the same-sex spouse of an American diplomat would be seen as legitimizing that. So that is not going to end pretty.
No, I saw that story yesterday. That reminds me of when Elton John was coming here to perform for jazz, and they had to. Martin Joseph at the time was the Minister of National Security, I remember, and we spoke about that, and he had to give special permission to allow Elton John here because Elton John was coming with his spouse. You understand? I remember he had to intervene as minister to give special permission because of our laws here too at the time. I don't know what our laws are now. You understand? With regard reference to same-sex.
Which I don't understand how he married somebody in the UK. So which means he can't come on a vacation here either. Or was it a work permit issue?
It was work, remember? Yeah, it was work.
So the spouse was coming to work with him, to work too?
Well, isn't he part of, he's part of Elton production, not so? He writes a lot of the tunes, he produces and so on. As David Furnish is his name, right, I think?
Yeah, but was he coming to perform? Was he coming to work, or was accompanying his partner?
I suspect because the whole band was coming and the whole band required work permits, yes.
So they checked every band to see if the spouse coming with them? Male or female?
Well, I don't know. But somebody, whoever back then had raised it as an issue.
It is such a stupid approach, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So every tourist who come in here with their spouse, if it's a same-sex spouse, please check them?
Yeah. Jamaica, I know, is very homophobic, so I don't know how they're going to fix that one.
Well, this is not about homophobia. This is about Jamaica, the Jamaican government saying same-sex marriages are illegal, and I understand their position. So giving privileges and immunity, diplomatic immunity to the same-sex spouse would mean that you recognize the union. You understand?
Yeah.
In your law also, and so the person is eligible for the privileges and immunities.
Yes. Yes.
You understand? And that, to me, I understand their position based on their laws.
Yeah.
You know, the other part of it, people's opinions and ethical and think positions is something different. This is a legal issue for Jamaica.
And I guess they would see it as a precedent-setting issue too.
Yeah, because after you do that,
Yeah.
you can't really turn down nobody else.
Yes. Yes.
But the US has responded and said, well, you know what? Or your 3 diplomats had to go back home. Since they didn't want to let the people in. You understand?
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting case to see how it evolves.
Yeah, it means too that the US didn't really check the Jamaican laws to see if it would have caused
I
a problem.
doubt very much they didn't check. They know the Jamaican laws. Them just saying we're the US and we have to do what we say.
I guess.
Don't pretend you don't know how this operates. Okay? We
You're
have the
right.
big bad US and we send him and you have to let his spouse in too.
Mhm.
And we don't just want him in as a visitor. You need to have diplomatic immunity and privileges
Yeah.
as a spouse would have.
Yeah.
Or any spouse would have. Anyway, let's roll into the newspapers for today. It is Wednesday, 19th July. Let's start with The Guardian. Dear PM, let's tread carefully. A page 1 editorial. It's not often the newspapers put a page 1 editorial on the issue of what's going to the House of Representatives today, which is the amendment and validation to the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act. So that's coming up at 1:30 today. Opposition has said they will not support. Handcuffed man drives off with police car in Superior. Wow.
Yeah, I saw that story yesterday.
How though? How?
Well, they handcuffed him, put him in a vehicle while they searched his vehicle till they found ammunition.
And they didn't leave nobody in the car with him?
Nobody was looking. So he just jumped out, started car.
So they left nobody in the police car with him?
Nobody was watching him.
Man 58 dies in a rumor shooting. TTRA ruling leaves public officers with 3 options. Man stable after Ruka stabbing. Suspect arrested to be charged in Mover house fire. Report AE Key Athens rejects second bid for Levi Garcia. I don't know what that is about. So those are stories trending in the Guardian. A man to be charged for firebombing Mover house.
That I don't understand.
TTPS to review criteria for pepper spray permits. Let's move now to the Express Online. Prime Minister, government has to do what it has to do. The water crisis in which 250,000 people were without water 1 week ago would have lasted for months if government had not bypassed procurement procedures. Kamala rips up amendments. We will not support it. Police search Farley's home. PM, US wants cops vetted. Jamaica, US face-off in same-sex diplomatic row. Homes searched in THA probe. And government victimizes me. So says the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Scrap Iron Dealers Association. Let's move now to the Newsday for today. Trinidad and Tobago to have voting center for Venezuelan opposition elections. Young, TGU important for energy economy. Hines, gangster music has negative impact on society. That could be a question we pose today. Air passenger numbers back up, says Airports Authority. Prime Minister vetted police units meant to work with US authorities. So those are trending stories in your Express, Guardian, and Newsday for today. Wednesday, the 19th of July, 2023.
Yep.
I want to tell a certain Mr. Piggott. It's not because I Google so-and-so certain activities on my laptop that these things popping up. As a matter of fact, I've never used my laptop for such. All right. What is the proposed question?
All right. So let me give you the results of our poll from yesterday. Yesterday, we asked you, do you agree with former Sports Minister Darrell Smith's appointment in the Ministry of Trade as a commercial attaché for the US and Canada? That was our poll yesterday. I'll give you the results right after I tell you, are you ready to explore the cutting edge of world of computers and controls? Then mark your calendars for the TIC convention happening July 20th, which is tomorrow till Saturday at the Center of Excellence in Macoya. Visit the Computers and Controls booth and witness the future of communication with PBX. voice over IP technology. Enhance your network security with firewalls. Discover the power of seamless connectivity with access points and take your business online with EasyCut. And wait, there's more. There'll be loads of exciting freebies that you won't want to miss. Join the Computers and Controls team for the TIC convention starting tomorrow till Saturday at the Center of Excellence. Computers and Controls, where you can unleash the power of technology and gain valuable insights that will shape your future. All right. Again, do you agree with former Daryl Smith's appointment in the Ministry of Trade as a commercial attaché to the U.S. and Canada? 77%. A lot of votes. 77 said no.
So
That
the
will
big
probably
story
win
today
of the interactive public.
is, of
Sorry.
course, the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Amendment and Validation Bill 2023 heads to the House of Representatives today and to the Senate tomorrow. The bill seeks to amend the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act number 1 of 2015, the Act, and to validate certain actions taken in respect of statutory instruments made under the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act, and contains 3 preambulatory paragraphs and 6 clauses. Among the main parts of the bill, it's seeking to validate, of course, the spend of the government, I believe, in respect to the Heads of Government Conference,
CARICOM conference. Yes.
CARICOM conference recently,
Mhm.
and also to change, amend clauses in 58A, clause 4 of it, will put in a clause 58A, subject to regulations made under Section 63. The procurement of goods and services of up to $1 million are exempt from procurement requirements under this Act. And also to change in clause 3, Section 7.7 of the Act, amended by deleting the words A5 and substituting the word 6, and in B, the word affirmative and substituting the word negative in relation to resolution. The opposition has said they're not supporting this. It will water down the procurement regulation, which in many people's estimation was also already a watered down
Already watered down, yeah.
version of the Don't be buffing me, Rabbi Basti. I ain't here to let you in when you want, you know. You have to cool yourself.
Okay.
Okay?
And be
You want
vigilant.
to be here till
Yeah, a
15
little
minutes
bit more
ago.
vigilant.
That is when I just look. When I think, when you're supposed to be on, is when I just look. I just be doing other things. I ain't have time to look for you when you're coming in, when you want.
Well, you better make the time, you know.
Okay? Right. And change your tone when you're requesting to be let in.
So I'm like another diplomatic war here. I can deal with this, you know.
That is a very loaded statement from you, but I will leave that alone. Right? So many are suggesting the amendments are going to further water down an already watered down Public Procurement Act has passed, right?
Mm-hmm. And the
So the
opposition
question
in the
proposed this
written
morning is,
comment.
do you agree with the proposed amendments to the Public Procurement Act 2015?
I think the main one, Paul, is that $1 million thing, right? Which is how it was before.
No, that
so?
is not the main one. The main one is actually, that is one of the main ones, moving from affirmative resolution to negative resolution.
Yeah, that's one of the main
That's a very significant, because that's the one that I proposed that they accepted last time around,
Okay.
to provide some parliamentary oversight to an already weakened act.
Right.
So that is not the $1 million is an issue too.
Mhm.
But the other one, I don't want to say much on it because I'm going to contribute tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Sorry,
the $1 million
$1 million
is what would have operated under when the Central Tenders Board
Right.
legislation oversight would have been there.
Yes.
TSS generally had $1 million unless you didn't need to go to the Central Tenders Board, etc.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people could question the amount, but there needs to be some. I totally agree that there needs to be some level.
Yes, and I will say as much as I checked Ghanaian, Australian, Canadian, and UK procurement law, and they all have limits that are exempt, because you have to have administrative costs. You have to consider that can't go through a month of waiting for the OPR to approve it. That doesn't make any sense. I agree with that in principle. The amount is the question. So I guess we will handle that.
Which is why I was surprised that this PNM government actually went ahead with that procurement law as it was, because it was strangleholding everybody. You understand?
Well,
But I think a lot of the impact in terms of the operational
the day-to-day and
evidence-
month-to-month operation of
the
state
operational
agency.
evidence is now there. So
Yeah.
I think there is a clearer picture of
But
what
Richard,
needs to be amended.
But you could have seen it coming. You didn't have to be a rocket scientist to see that it would happen. That's how
It
would happen.
was actually raised in the debates when the law was passed. But very often when you are tackling complex legislation like this, you can't pick up everything. It's very difficult to pick up everything. Anyway, that's our question this morning. Do you agree with the proposed amendments to the Public Procurement Act as proposed by the government? I will phrase it better in a while.
Yeah. Imagine if you don't have a cooperative administrative officer in your department or whatever. Man, and I already started to see evidence of it in City Hall. Everything now. We can't do that. We have to follow the procurement. We can't do this. So everything just remain. That's why garbage on the streets and all kind of nonsense going on now in the city. You know?
Would we like to let the public weigh in?
Yes, please.
Very smart.
222-8255,
toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099 via our mobile app and website, and of course on YouTube. And let me say good morning going out to a lot of folks on YouTube. Ms. Maloney, good morning. The great Gloria Gray, Carlisle Cupid, H.S. Wilson, Ingrid Adams, Beauty Culture, Guy Small, Rena Boodoo Jennings, good morning. Leonard Naipaul, Mrs. R. All right.
I wonder if that Leon Small who contesting a seat in Siparia for PNM is
222-8655.
Yeah. Our morning poll question once again.
Do you agree with the proposed amendments to the procurement laws in Trinidad and Tobago? It's going to the parliament today, Paul?
Today and tomorrow.
All right. So do you agree with the proposed amendments? Yes or no? And Paul would have highlighted the amendments a while ago.
Or some of them.
So Senators, yes or no? Mr. Karapu says, where can I get a copy of the procurement bill to be debated today?
I think it's posted in the Trinidad and Tobago Gazette already.
Okay, so you could Google that. CJ in New York, good morning to you. Happy hump day. All right. Thank you, CJ. All right, 222-8255. Scorpion Pepper. Oh, good morning to you, Scorpion Pepper. I thought you voted. Yep. Do you agree with the proposed amendment to the procurement laws in TNT? Yes or no? So that's our poll this morning. Of course, it's the opposition is saying that they're not going to support it, which I think is not helpful. I think they should at least debate it. I don't know if they're withdrawing from the debate completely or if they're going to debate.
No, I think they said, I saw a newspaper report indicating that they said they would be present.
Yes.
Okay, they'll be present.
I don't think being absent is going to help either. Absent is not doing a job. You understand?
They rip it up.
Yeah.
The opposition leader rip up the amendments.
Keep in mind also, this is supposed to be parliamentary media breaker.
Yeah, it is. Good morning, caller.
Ordinary sittings.
Gentlemen, my answer is
The answer is no?
yeah, no. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Yes to the poll.
All right. Thank you, Sonny. Beauty Culture says yes to the poll. Scorpion Pepper says yes to the poll. Slick Money Grip, yes to the poll. Stretch, totally agree. All right. Stretch. Thank you so much. All right. 222-8255. Toll free North Americans. 866-525-1099. Send us a message via YouTube, our mobile app, or our website. Do you agree with the proposed amendments to the procurement laws in TNT?
You just don't catch your aunt, uncle, and nenen to get money from the state when you do work for them. You could imagine now under this procurement what it will be like for some people. They will go out
Yeah,
of business.
I think that if we want to stymie corruption, there need to be systems in place. The reason we need, or any country needs, procurement law is because people were doing what they want before.
Yeah, I agree. And we have
Okay.
several laws. We have several laws to stymie corruption in this place. But do
That
we
wasn't
enact
working.
them?
That wasn't
Yeah.
working.
Do we enact them?
All right.
No.
Well, let's take this call. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning to all you good gentlemen there. My
Hey,
answer to the
Ellie.
poll-
Morning.
Morning. I don't normally call into the poll. I vote online now, but the answer to the poll is yes. Wendell.
Morning, sir.
Sir, how your preparation going for accepting the mayorship? How your preparation going so far?
By separation. I just go full divorce. I
Preparation.
don't separate.
Preparation.
I just do the full divorce thing.
Hmm.
I hope
He said, how are your preparations going? Not just
But
separation.
preparation, you say? Oh, I thought you were
Yeah,
saying
preparation.
separation.
Become mayor.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
If
Become
you guys
mayor.
have trouble in relationships, yes, hear the wrong thing.
to accept the mayorship of Forest Green. How it's going? It's going okay,
It's
Wendell?
going just fine. It's going just fine.
Hey, Steve,
Yeah, pal.
hey, Steve, boy, I've been in Las Vegas to the past to the Steve is 120. 100. Boy, what chance, Steve? When you come out in the, I don't know how people is living in, boy.
Yeah.
120. You know,
That's 43 degrees Celsius.
you feel like you're in an oven and
Wow.
Jesus.
That ain't normal.
Yeah. 94 million Americans are the heat warning. 94
Wow.
million.
All right, Wendell,
Yes, sir.
make sure your preparation clear your schedule. What do you have to do? Make sure your because it's going to be a hectic when you become aware because you have two things I want to take care the two V's, vagrant and vending. Right,
True.
right.
All right, then.
You have another V he could take care of too. He's very good at another V.
Dr. Paul, I don't know what the doctor.
Take care of the third one too. Very well here. He's very, very good at the third one.
Good morning to
He means,
Mr. Richard.
he means vinegar. He means
All right.
vinegar.
Morning.
Thanks, Ellie. All the best. Stay cool. Hydrate. Ish out in Malik says no. Kazim Mohammed says yes. Leonard Naipaul says yes. Carol Guevara, yes to the poll. Ms. Maloney also says yes.
Miss
Mr.
Maloney?
Carapo says no to the poll. Good morning,
Did you
caller.
just say Carapo just now?
Good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Yes.
All right, thank you. Yeah, he wanted to.
Anytime I hear
He
the
was asking
good,
a question.
anytime I hear the good, I mark down yes. I didn't have to hear anymore. I just recognize good and I mark yes.
Did you all see that judgment, the Privy Council judgment on the contractor at the King's Wharf development? A contractor had done all of the work that they were required to, and then the state refused to pay because they said the contract was over $1 million and was outside the purview of the PS at the then Ministry of Works to award the contract.
Mm-hmm.
The contract was over $1 million. The company got the contract, did the work, won their payment, and the state said, we're paying you because the PS
Have no
not
right to
supposed to cross $1 million. So it's an invalid contract. It went through the local courts. The local court says, even so, they did the work, so they should be entitled to be paid. The
The
state
fault was
appealed
in the
it.
ministry, not the contractor.
The state appealed. The appeal court also agreed with the High Court, with Frank C. Prasad, and said, no, he should be paid. The state appealed it to the Privy Council. The Privy Council say, no, basically pay the man. Because
Well, yeah.
So
how much-
and hear what irritates me with that, eh? Hear what irritates me with that. You pay lawyers to go to the Privy Council, which ain't cheap. You pay lawyers to go to appeal court and high court. You understand?
Mhm.
But you ain't want to pay the people. Through no fault of the contractor, through an internal issue, eh?
Yeah.
And I'm sure that
And
cost
you
$1 million.
$1
TT.
and you still have to pay all that now.
Exactly.
Really?
Find a way to discipline the PS. Don't punish the
That's
contractor.
it. And pay the people the money.
Exactly.
That's all.
Crazy.
Hey. Steve, I'm reading the news.
I don't know. Yes. I didn't hear you, Paul. Sorry.
I'm doing the news.
Oh, I have to prepare for that. All right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. How is everyone? Everyone is fine?
Fair to fine. Few scattered showers. We're going good there, big guy. How you doing? You keeping cool? Is it hot in New York?
It's cool. It's cool right now. It's cool. It started off cool, but it get hot later.
Mr. Small,
Yes.
there's a PNM candidate in Siparia
No
called Leon
family. No
Small.
family. No
Is he
family.
a
No
relative?
family. No family. No family. No family.
Let's check in.
Quick to say that, boy. You say that quick.
I say no because I hope that the independent senators who abstained in 2020 do not abstain and they vote this time. My answer is no.
Okay.
And when they appoint you, you can vote how you want.
I actually marked that no long time, eh?
Excuse me?
When they appoint you, you should vote how you want.
Yeah, but if you abstain, you give somebody else a vote.
When they appoint you, you vote how you want.
You see, you can't take the truth. You can't handle the truth.
When they appoint you, you vote how you want.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right, big guy. Thank you.
All right.
All the best.
All right? When they appoint you, you vote how you want.
You know, that's going to be a little toot for a little while.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
No, but you can't tell. Excuse me.
But this
When they
time,
appoint you, when they call you back from where you was there, and they put you there, you vote how you want.
Richard, this time I'm supporting him with this tooth, eh?
God
I
damn.
support with this tooth.
Let's get back
When
to
they
our
appoint you vote how you want. You vote according to your conscience. Yours. You want that
Good
you
morning.
own.
Good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning, Richard Rendell, Paul, Steve. Morning.
Good morning, Mr. Patrick.
This procurement legislation. You could remember when they had Mr. Iwaski and them was in Trinidad? Did they purchase a plane?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
What legislation they used was to get our money to purchase this plane. And where the plane is, by the way?
At the time, they probably would have gotten cabinet approval, you know.
You know, Mr. Patrick, while we like the conversation, where's your vote?
Thank you.
Well, voted yes.
Thanks,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Patrick. We'll pick up the plane later on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good morning,
There's a
caller.
question, whatever become of the plane.
Good morning. Grandy, no.
All right.
Randy says no. Thank you. Kenny out in Harlem says yes to the poll.
All right.
Thank you, Kenny. All right, so 222-8255, toll free North Americans, 866-525-1099. Of course, do you agree the proposed amendments to the procurement laws in T&T? Yes or no?
Paul, was Mr. Small suggesting that you abstain from the vote or you vote against it?
I don't know what Mr. Small was suggesting, but when they appoint him, he do what he want. When they put him, because anybody, once they are trying to
Why
do
you
an
poking the bear,
national
Wendell? Why are you poking the bear? You're
when
poking the bear.
they want to poke the bear. When they appoint him, he can vote exactly. He can abstain. He can affirmative. He can negatize. He can do what he wants.
Yeah.
He can vote all the way from wherever he is.
To the UNC position. That's what it's
I don't know who position he is at telling when he there he can vote how he wants.
Okay.
And he can
I
and he
agree
can
with
sit and he can yeah, and he can sit down on whatever bench he want to. We'll go a little further. Because he mightn't like the bench I on.
Oh, Mr. Small, you got schooled this morning from the senator.
You have 3 benches in there. You could choose one and jump in.
Well, we know he ain't going in one.
I don't know any such thing.
Nah, yeah, the pattern clear.
I don't know any such thing. I don't know. I'm not presuming anything of the gentleman. I just know that when he's in there or the other place, he could vote how he wants. He may have options to the other place too.
Oh, he can
659.
Yeah,
The question this morning, do you agree with the proposed amendments to the procurement laws in Trinidad and Tobago? Yes or no?
Yes, we're taking your calls to the
Yeah, let's take a vote again. Good morning, caller.
Oh, the question is, do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Grandy who called just now. I want to change my vote from a no to a yes.
You know,
All right.
Grandy, when you voted, right, I was going to make a comment, and then I hold back.
Yeah,
say
because I
maybe-
thought it's do you disagree, but I realized it's do you agree?
Yeah, I was going
Yeah,
to make
so
a
my
comment.
vote
but I
is
held
yes,
back.
so that should be changed.
All
right.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
done.
It's done. All right.
And
We
then
get
that
up,
text work, boy. That text message work.
I don't know him personally, but I know he's a very rational guy.
I'm just being facetious, sir.
Yeah, no, but he's a very rational person because he doesn't always go with the grain. But he's rational. He's always given reason.
You can continue voting on the poll. News is coming up next.
Yeah, it starts
So-
right now, actually. So let's get into it. It's exactly 7 o'clock.
This is your news bulletin from Power 102 Digital.
It is Wednesday, 19th July, 2023. This is news to 7 a.m. on News Power Digital. First, the headlines. The House of Representatives will meet this afternoon to debate amendments to the procurement law. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has signaled his intention to use government's simple majority in the parliament to push through the amendments in the lower house. And one man has been arrested in connection with a report of suspected setting fire to a house at 2nd Caledonia Extension in Morval. We have details coming up next. This is news to 7 a.m. on News Power Digital. Good morning. The House of Representatives will meet this afternoon to debate amendments to the procurement law. This, in spite of vociferous disapproval of the amendments by the opposition UNC. The House was recalled by the government from its mid-year break to deal with the amendments which propose to allow the exemption of goods and services of up to $1 million from the procurement law processes. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says the amendments are necessary to ensure that government can function effectively. However, Leader of the Opposition, Kamla Prasad-Bissessar, maintains the amendments would water down the procurement law, since amendments would allow for negative resolution of decisions and would not require Parliament's approval, rather than affirmative resolution, which stipulated parliamentary approval. Mrs. Prasad-Bissessar said there are many questions in the ruling administration must answer when it comes to Parliament today on matters related to procurement legislation. Mrs. Prasad-Bissessar said providing more details on this subject is vital.
First of all, they come to validate what they've already illegally done. And the questions will be, how much money are you talking about for that CARICOM? Tell the country. Be transparent. Tell the country. How much money was it that you exempted here? Who are the contractors? Who are the suppliers of the goods and services? Tell us who they are. Who are these people? You must tell the Parliament that when you come for the validation of the two orders.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has signaled his intention to use government's majority, simple majority in the Parliament, to push through the amendments in the lower house later today. Speaking on I-95 yesterday afternoon, Dr. Rowley acknowledged the opposition's disdain for the changes, but insisted the amendments are necessary to facilitate exigencies. He pointed as an example an estimated 100,000 people to provide government services. However, only 8,000 are registered under the provisions of the Act. He suggested these issues can serve to bring the government to a halt. He said the water crisis, in which 250,000 people were without water a week ago, would have lasted for months if government had not bypassed the procurement procedure outlined in the Act. He maintained there's a lot to be said about legislation that is good, but legislation has certain requirements that eat up time. The Prime Minister said another problem with the Act was that it excluded a lot of small and medium businesses who were not prepared to put themselves in positions to qualify. On to other news now. 3 cases of the monkeypox virus are in home isolation and do not require hospital care at this time. Mpox is a self-limiting disease in most instances, and it is commonly spread by close contact with a positive case. With 3 cases to date, TNT has now become the 113th country to record active cases, with most cases occurring in the Americas and Europe. Additionally, 2,800 doses of the vaccines were procured to be administered to non-symptomatic close contacts and the healthcare professionals in any facility where a patient would be warded. To date, no vaccines have been administered. The Health Ministry, through its health surveillance network, assures it will continue to monitor the current cases of Mpox locally, regionally, and internationally. Furthermore, the ministry says it will continue to update the public with all relevant information while adhering to principles of patient confidentiality. One man has been arrested in connection with a report of suspected setting fire to a house at 2nd Caledonia Extension Mover on the 12th of July 2023. The suspect, also of 2nd Caledonia Mover, was arrested by a team of officers of the Northeastern Division following extensive investigations into the matter. He is expected to be charged with 2 counts of setting fire to a dwelling house with a person therein, following advice received from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution on the 18th of July 2023. A female victim reported that on July 12th this year, she observed a group of men, some of whom were allegedly armed with guns, charge onto her premises and attempt to gain entry into the house. She alleges she heard several loud explosions and observed a fire in the house. The men then made good their escape. Acting on intelligence received, one male suspect was held on July 13th in connection with the matter. Inquiries are ongoing into the matter. To end our newscast, here's the weather for the period today until midnight. Trinidad and Tobago sunshine will likely be interrupted by a few intervals of cloudiness and showers. There's also a medium 40 to 60% chance of isolated thunderstorm activity. Tonight, generally settled apart from the odd shower. Street and isolated flash flooding and gusty winds are possible in areas of heavy downpours and thunderstorm activity. It is currently 25 degrees cool and expecting a high of 32 in Piarco and 31 at Crown Point in Tobago. To end our 7 a.m. newscast, here are the headlines once again. The House of Representatives will meet this afternoon to debate amendments to procurement law. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has signaled his intention to use government's simple majority in Parliament to push the amendments through the lower house. And one man has been arrested in connection with a report of suspected setting fire to a house at 2nd Caledonia in Mover. That is news to 7 a.m. right here on News Power Digital. We'll have major news coming your way at 8 a.m. and major news again at 9 a.m. Good morning.
Up to date and credible. Power 102 Digital.
All right. Thank you so much, Paul, for our major news. Of course, we have a news brief that's going to come up at 8 o'clock this morning. Quickly, let's take a look at what's happening traffic-wise. Going through Santa Rosa and so on, but after Trin City, you're going to get some traffic as you head towards Uwe. Eastern Main Road getting onto Macoya, that is also a bit heavy. Going through Mount Hope, usual spots, you got some traffic there. Nothing on the Maraval, it's a bit of volume. But after you pass Uwe on the CRH, you're going to pick up traffic again in Barataria. Let's head out south, see what's going on there. Nothing really to tell you about. Rivulet Road is heavy. Couva towards Chase Village, you've got some traffic there. There is an accident northbound. Yeah, on the Sosolo Hochoi Highway, just in by where it is before the Chase Village flyover, the Carlson Field Main Road there. Yeah, so after Freeport, you're going to get some, and that's where the accident is. All right, so it's creating quite a backlog. As I said, it is northbound. Police already are on the scene. All right, so that's a quick traffic update for you. All right, gentlemen, let's check to see if we have any more votes to our morning poll. Nothing there. Nothing there. Okay. All right. So let's get the results of our poll.
All right. Our question this morning was, do you agree with the proposed amendments to the procurement laws in Trinidad and Tobago? And it's going to the Parliament today and tomorrow. 14 people said yes, they agree. All right. 4 people said
we lost
no,
you there, Wendell. We lost you there for a bit.
All right. I said 14 said yes, 4 said no. All right. I'm going to just give me 2 minutes before I put back on my camera. All right. 14 said yes and 4 said no. I'm not hearing Paul though.
I see what you're going to do. You can do a lot in 2 minutes, you know.
is I'm having my banana bread with my coffee. My massy banana bread. I didn't make it.
Yeah, so 14-4. I got that too, Wendell. 14-4.
I'm seeing the city skyline behind you, Mr. Rangbassing.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not really seeing it properly, are you?
Well, I'm seeing
Right,
a
it's very reflection.
very good detailed vision.
Yeah.
When you have a top floor office, what do you expect? When your officers are the top floor.
That's what I got. I got that the office was very, very high up. He turned up the camera.
You are
So we can still take a couple of calls about what you think and why you would have voted, how you voted on the procurement laws proposed amendments today.
Yeah. All right. So 222-8255 toll-free North Americans. 866-525-1099. What's that?
I think we'll have a better view.
Okay.
Do you all know this is absolute trivia that has nothing to do with anything of importance on the planet? But if you run out of deodorant, do you know that you can put a little bit of Listerine on a cotton swab and rub it under your arms and it works?
Mm-hmm. It works out.
It works as a deodorant.
But it kills bacteria, so that's what deodorant's supposed to do, kill the bacteria on the arm.
Yeah.
And in other places.
You could also use it.
I just don't have some kinky people around me where they come and lick all my arm. So let me hush my mouth.
What?
Oh, yeah, we needed to hear that information. Thanks.
I could take my camera off.
Wow.
That banana bread, that massive banana bread have something in it, Paul.
Wow. And you want to be mayor of Port, when you just put an international stream of people just be licking one on the arm, okay?
No, I never said that. Yeah. I never said that.
People come to lick under your arm.
I never said that.
You said all kind of freaky people coming around me to try to lick under my arm. That's what you said.
I never used the word freaky.
I feel you use the same thing and you don't know what you're saying, you know.
I never used the word freaky. I said kinky.
You could also...
Wow, big difference.
You could also put a wet napkin, wet with Listerine, into your garbage and would also take care of any odors in your garbage.
I get
these random things that come to my email, so I'm just sharing the knowledge.
I spray my garbage with those bleach products, and it's also to keep away animals. No birds or cats or dogs would interfere with your garbage. Just give a little spray on the garbage bag, on the outside or in the bag, and your bag will never be touched by animals. Humans might still interfere with it.
All your bags?
All my bags. I put out one garbage bag every now and then. I do. And our garbage.
I just say garbage today, Wendell. Wendell, I am driving out to head to town this morning. The garbage truck, of course, moves early. Okay? Mm-hmm. In Arima. The garbage truck has passed. I don't know what's going on with garbage workers, you know. Or they don't have the most difficult job on the planet. They take up the garbage from somebody's bin, and you know, like they raise it and they throw it in the garbage, and then you know they have a way that they fling the bin.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever the garbage man is, he fling the bin, and the bin is absolutely in the middle of the road, and the garbage truck drive off.
That's ridiculous.
So all drivers coming now are meeting this huge bin in the middle of the road. And so you get a little confused. It almost looks like, is the road closed?
Mm-hmm.
I know the road ain't closed because I know what just happened. So I just passed the bin and went on my way. And I say, really? You so don't care about what you're doing. You just fling a bin, which they like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't care where it lands.
I would report that garbage truck if I were you.
You don't care where it lands.
That's ridiculous.
And are those privately contracted providers, usually?
Most likely. Or
Most
was
resigned.
it the ABC truck itself, Richard?
I don't know. I didn't see who it was. I just heard them.
Oh, okay.
So I knew they had just passed.
Many, many years ago, one of them scraped my car. I don't know how he do that with that truck.
Mm.
And tried to drive off. And I caught him in the act of driving off. I said, I have your number in a shop. I said, I have your number in it. So you better stop. He stopped and started to beg. Only to go to the corporation, this is years ago, to hear he wasn't fully registered to be doing it. And there was some kind of arrangement, so the corporation could do nothing.
Oh boy.
Hell.
Yeah, some of them are very, very, very irresponsible. You understand? We have had several claims over the years out of garbage truck incidents. Several. You understand? Because some of them just don't take the time. They don't care. I mean, a lot of times people block their path and do all kind of crazy things, double park, and they can't get through and they take chances. But in a lot of instances, it's negligence on behalf of the drivers sometimes. And don't talk about the workers. Richard, the garbage bin was one problem. But what about when other pieces of garbage fall out of that bag? They leave it right there and they go, some of them.
Yeah, some of them do that.
But some are also quite diligent.
Some clean it, but
some are quite diligent or some will clean it.
Yeah, some will clean it.
Yeah,
all right,
some do, but some don't.
222 talk 222-8255. You all know the numbers. 612-8255 and toll-free North Americans 866-525-1099. We're talking procurement law today. It's going to be quite a fiery session this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I presume tomorrow, because I'm sure it's going to be a lot of also using the opportunity for heightened media coverage in light of upcoming local government election.
So is it before both houses today, Paul?
No, the House today and the Senate tomorrow.
Senate tomorrow, okay.
Once the House gets through with its business today.
And does it and this requires a simple majority, not so?
Yes, it does.
So it's a fait accompli, basically.
Well, the Prime Minister said that he's going to use the government's simple majority to push it through. So,
right. But according to this a message from someone, right? He said this legislation brought obtaining goods and services in the government service to a halt. Government vehicles run up and down all day. Wear and tear is a daily thing. Just to procure tires has become a nightmare. Not even the politicians understand what has happened with this law. Not one public servant in the finance department was interviewed on the matter. And maybe we could try to speak with someone from a finance department of a government ministry. I don't know how.
We do have some calls coming through, so let's grab them. Good morning. Thanks for holding.
Yes, good morning. No problem. Mr. Gentleman, I find it a bit unbecoming that an avid listener of your radio station would call in, give his opinion about something, and be attacked in such a vile manner. And it's very unbecoming and unmannerly that should happen. Is the station losing its way? Is there no more balance? Is there no more democracy? That someone can give a free opinion on this radio station? It was very out of place, Dr. Richards, for you to respond in such a manner. I said nothing to you. I just made a statement that I hope all the senators, the independent senators, vote, as they did not vote in 2020. And you went up on a high horse. That's very unbecoming as a senator and somebody in your position. You learn a bit more self-control. Okay? Thank you, gentlemen.
And I suggest you take your own advice.
Did he say vile? No, nothing about Paul.
And I suggest you take your own advice, because very often you have been very aggressive to Wendell yourself.
Yeah.
But I guess do so like you.
The thing about it is that when I'm on this show as Wendell Stephen. When Paul is on this, there's my opinion, right? When Paul is on the show, he's on the show as Paul Richards, not Senator Paul.
No, there is no separation. Nobody's going to separate that.
No, I'm just saying.
I could tell him, don't tell me how to vote. When they appoint you, vote how you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you could tell me how you want me to vote, I could tell you when they appoint you, vote how you want.
Yeah, I didn't. Anyway,
I saw an interesting post from news source yesterday, which I can't verify, but it was so curious.
Somebody sent it for me.
And it
about
says,
a government minister.
I want to say pleasant good morning to all of God's choices and all of God's choicest blessings to the PNM MP and minister who busy sending information to UNC MPs about how to undermine the procurement debate tomorrow. Of course, this was sent yesterday. You know yourself.
Yeah.
You know how important this law is for ending corruption and enabling compliance. Now, we don't have a winner. What good, eh?
All right, we have another call. Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Yes, I'm all in support of the amendment, because for me, it's about the ease of doing business. And you would hear local businessmen and even foreigners speak about Trinidad's difficulty in terms of doing business. The catch, however, is that whatever is freed up in terms of allowing for certain things to get through quicker, I hope that there is a level of accountability still, right? Because I personally don't like too many red tape. You know, sometimes in some government places where you have to get 3 and 4 quotations before you get an item of this craziness. I am not a lover of those things. I don't like too many red tapes. But accountability I support. So even with these amendments that are to come later in Parliament, I hope there is still a level of accountability and the necessary checks and balances are put in place so that everything can be scrutinized and above board. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to respond to that caller. Because just like bad police, regardless of what unit and vetting you put in place, bad police going to be bad police, and dishonest people in the public service going to be dishonest people regardless of what you put in place for them. They will be dishonest. You have to get them out. You have to get the bad police out of the service, and you have to get the dishonest administrators out of the public service. That is the only answer. I'm sorry.
And you also have to put systems and laws and regulations in place to minimize the potential for their corrupt activities.
Well, all of those laws.
Because even when you get the bad ones out, more bad ones will come in essentially, because just the nature of human existence. Some will be good and law-abiding, and some will be prone to criminal activity and corruption. So even if you get out 5, 3 more might come in. So you have to put laws, regulations, and rules in place to minimize, you would never eliminate it, but to minimize the potential for corruption.
Yeah. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning again. I could remember when they had a conversation about this plane, and somebody was saying, is that too much a red tape? But they say, well, they have something called a petty cash where they could get in and use money at a certain limit. What is the limit right now where they could use right now for procurement before they go to the parliament? When
I think it was $1 million.
That was under the Central Tenders Board Act. I think.
Right, so therefore they have something we got to go through all this red tape. But then it must have checks and balances, it must have things to deal with. But as they were saying, if you have to go to the parliament to organize money to do things, and you have an opposition, or either opposition could be PNM or UNC, and they want to victimize you and vilify you, you ain't gonna get the money. So they have to do something with this thing, But you have to have checks and balance and receipts and everything after have to come back to be audited after. You understand? But
all of this bacchanal stem from 2010 to 2015. That period of governance where there was
stop.
No, don't stop me.
This country has had corruption for decades. This country has had corruption for decades.
Counteract me, but don't stop me.
This country has had corruption for decades.
Yes. But that period where billions of money was spent without accountability on all different kind of things. Drive up. I've given you 2 examples, Mr. Patrick, and I want you to pass and see. Drive up, start from the Port of Spain and drive up the highway and look across at the Beetham and see what $400 million look like for a wastewater dump. Go and watch it, wastewater plant. Watch that, and then go further up the highway. Go further up the highway by Aruka, by the jail there, and watch a fence. Millions.
So it had no corruption before 2010.
Millions of dollars to
It had no corruption before 2010.
I never said that.
Okay, all right.
That's what red tape. The camera,
I never said that.
When they had tried,
All right.
Yeah, pure,
Yeah.
contract pure. This was red tape. You had to get the work done. So, that fella went about and do the work. Nice. The same thing with Calder and all. Nice. So this thing was always there.
All right. Thanks,
Yes,
Mr.
the
Patrick.
accusations were also leveled at Calder Hart and Mr. Mann in government too.
Yeah. Of course, gentlemen, Afro Raymond is going to join us any minute now to talk about the same issue. Captain Cricket Nugget 141. Hello. What kind of name is that?
That period between 2010 and 2015, so unprecedented levels of corruption. And those aren't my words. Makandal Daga said it. Jack Warner said it. Vasan Bharat said it. Plenty of their own members said it. There were unprecedented levels of corruption and corrupt accusations, allegations. Unprecedented.
In some good news, not meaning to take away from what you're talking about, Wendell, but I noticed it in two of the newspapers this morning, and I think it's worth mentioning. It's worth mentioning because it contributes to the ease of doing business. I think Mr. Patrick just mentioned. There is a new enhanced TT BizLink that is over 90% completed now, and of course it was launched by the Ministry of Trade under the Minister Paula Gopi-Skun. And the new TT BizLink is 90% completed and costs US $7 million so far. The new platform will have a modernized, mobile, responsive, and user-friendly interface, inherent security features, and a self-audit facility to improve transparency, available data in real time, which aids in decision-making, digital approvals, document verifications via QR codes, increased processing efficiency, and knowledge sharing among multiple agencies, improved interactivity with other government systems, such as Customs and Excise Division, automated system for customs data, which I think they call ASICUDA system, and the Immigration Division's border management system, a prepayment feature, and the ability of users to make payments online for permits and licenses. So it's integrating a lot of the business processes, and it's all part of that movement towards a more digitized economy. So I think it's worthy mentioning it as good news taking place in the economic sector in terms of businesses and that TT BizLink.
All right. I'll take some call. Paul, I don't know if you've seen Afro there waiting to come in. Good morning, caller.
Hi, morning, Steve. Morning, Dr. Paul.
Morning.
Morning, Wendell, and morning, Richard.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Dominic.
I'm not a fan of Parliament Bird, but I listened to when I had read The Guardian, I was kind of siding with what The Guardian said, right? In their editorial. And I said, well, look at trouble. And when I listened to Parliament Bird, I found that the explanation he gave was plausible to me, right? And then when Saddam Hussein spoke in Parliament, I said, well, he didn't listen to what Parliament Bird said. So, to me, I think red tape is good sometimes, but in these particular instances, like when foreign people have to come in, which is a fact, you don't know today for today and tomorrow and so on, you need to have some kind of amendment to this thing. And you see, abstain. Am I correct, Paul? Abstain last time, not so? So, it doesn't.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think they abstained. And Kamala, Mr. Sassa wasn't there, but some of them who were there, they abstained. And it was passed kind of watered on because there were more things to meet, so should have been there. But even if they don't go today, it wouldn't make a difference because they were going to abstain and just come and quarrel and abstain the same way. So the simple majority is fine. So to make it happen, because it is a very difficult situation for people who are in the service industry. And I know some people who had that happen too, So I offer that amendment today. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Thank you. Lots of calls. Good morning.
Good morning.
morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Wendell, you
Yes.
remember a book named Student's Companion?
Yes. Orange hardcover book.
I think you should write a book. You have a lot of knowledge. You should write a book like the Student's Companion. Have a good day.
All right, take care.
Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Good.
All right. I just calling to update, give you all an update on this accident on the highway. This is just in the vicinity of East Village.
Yeah.
On the highway just by TNPK. And that's traffic. I head along south right now. I have passed Carolina, passed the hospital, that Cooper Hospital. And you just see that I'm heading straight back to Claxton Day.
Yeah, I see that now.
And traffic goes beyond Price Mart coming up.
I'm seeing that as well.
And there's no big accident, you know. Nobody is it. There's a car in the bush, one on the road. Just a little update so the motorists on the road can be aware. Right? Morning, Wendell.
Is Marco traffic then?
Morning,
Yeah,
Oliver.
all that macro traffic, yeah.
Yeah. So guys, have a blessed day.
All right.
All right,
Thanks,
take
pal.
care.
All the best. All right. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning again, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Paul.
Good morning, darling.
Where that coming from, I find you very scarce these days. You only talk.
But that must be why I must miss you.
You have to miss me.
You know what to do it.
I know you tell me that plenty fish in the sea and you're fishing. So that is
Yeah, but
all
not
right.
all fish. But no, not all fish is salmon. Some fish is sardine and thing. You gotta go for the.
Oh,
You
I'm
know?
glad you know. I'm glad you know that.
Some fish is wabine and sardine and thing. Not everybody is salmon and mahi and thing. You know.
You know, allow me here about Wabin.
But you get a taste of the medicine this morning. And no, I just laugh. I say, the chickens are coming home to roost. I know it was before long, you know, everybody go get a dose. You know what? Because the line's open for far and wide. So everybody could stay with
That's
that.
all right. Everybody entitled to their opinion, and I entitled to mine too.
Yeah, right. Good. Well, I'm glad you know that was what happened.
You read to it them weeks ago, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good at control.
So you're getting a taste of the medicine.
That's all right. Medicine good for you sometimes. I could give medicine too.
All right, good.
Zina,
So what you really
can you
want to
see?
talk about?
Zina,
Pardon me? Yeah.
can you see the screen? Can you see the screen? Do
I'm
you
not
look at
looking
it?
at it. I'm listening to you on
Because
the
all three of them in blue today. That's just to let you know.
uh-huh.
Yeah, all three of them.
I don't like they're going to join the team to paint the town blue. I saw someone
Well, blue good for Bada, yeah? And blue good for Maljo.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, right now, because you're talking on the phone, I find my blue top kind of glowing. So it's blocking some Maljo that's coming from the line. It's blocking something that's coming at me.
That it getting red. That is why I wanted all the tops to turn into the red, from blue to red. Anyhow, I called
Well, if people are real afraid blue these days, boy.
Yeah, people like the Ralph Reed any color right now.
No, darling. It's a word called afraid or afraid. Not from the P&M camp. Only getting all their marbles.
Yeah, you're preaching there, woman. You're preaching, Zina.
Getting all their marbles tie up there. Don't try that. I called to talk about the procurement. I think that yes, we need certain measures put in place, but they have to have some little clauses when it comes to, like, for emergency purposes and stuff. So Dr. Rowley is right. I quite agree with him. And as for the vetting for the police service, I don't know why they're jumping up and getting on. So it always has sections for the police service that properly vetted, like those sections that the opposition closed down when they went in there. So And then I hear Gary Griffith jumping up and saying that yes, they had it worked very good under he, but I don't know what vetted services he had under him.
You notice Gary Griffith very quiet on this one.
So I want to know what the police mentions about. They always have different sections in the police service for certain things. So I don't see an issue with that. And I think it is needed.
All right.
It is needed, very much needed in this country. So we will watch to see how things go. And let me tell you, there's the Balizé. You can't kill that one. No matter how they chopped them down the last time, when a certain government was in, they chopped down all the Balizé that was visible by the road corner. And here now, they spring up with a vengeance.
All right. Thank you, Zena.
All
right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Afro is not able to
Breaking
join
in-
us.
Well,
right
in
now.
breaking in, Afra is coming on. Well,
Yeah,
in breaking international
he's
news,
unable to right now.
And I know that Paul will want to know about this, and Wendell. Lindsay Lohan has given birth to her first child, a boy. So it's a bit of entertainment news. Lindsay Lohan has a boy child, and Taylor Swift. Congratulations are in order because her loyal fans known as Swifties, she has officially become the woman with the most #1 albums in history. She now has 12 #1 albums. She has just beaten Barbra Streisand, who held the record before that. She is now on Drake's record, which is 12, and she is a few behind Jay-Z, who has 14, and the Beatles, who have the record at 19 #1.
Well, she ain't getting to that 19.
So
Yeah, she'll get there easy.
Congratulations to Taylor Swift.
Wow.
Good morning.
Because I like Taylor Swift because she's also a songwriter.
Morning.
Morning, pal.
Good morning. Yeah, morning to the program. Nice show as usual. I think the partner says being a little disingenuous with reference to this new unit. It's not about the vetting. Vetting is a fundamental requirement for any position or office or such. The issue is that they have still units within the police service already doing that. You have FIU, you have PSP, you have anti-corruption. So the issue is not about vetting. It's probably realigning those units to come up with a unit that can do whatever he wants to do. I wonder what kind of vetting was done for Darren Smith in that new position. Thank you, gentlemen.
Whose position?
Yeah.
Darren Smith now.
Okay.
Daryl. Okay.
He went down the political road.
Good morning,
I thought
caller.
I thought he was making sense all the time.
Hi,
Went down
morning.
the political road.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, honey.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Hear the smile now. Hear the smile now, Paul. Hear that smile. You can hear a smile.
Definitely.
Thank you kindly. And you see, he's very, very, very affirmative about my statement. Zena, darling, at the end of the day, I just put him in that blue because Zena needs to war off all the heifers on them, so he needs to have on that blue. But his heart is red, and you know if my heart is red, his heart is red too. So it's just pure red. I don't know about Paul, what's seen here on this blue right through, but I would hope he's one of the more right-thinking citizens in this country. Steve, good morning, my love. Wendell, well, the realist.
Did you just use the H word?
The H word? What H word I used?
You didn't know?
What
You
the
don't
H
know?
word I used, Wendell?
Well, the last time I checked, it's spelled with the H.
I can't hear you, and I'm busy and I'm hopping, and I just calling quickly to send some love to all of y'all and just to let Zena know about my
You
love.
packed the man lunch kit?
You saying something? Sorry, Paul?
You packed the man lunch kit?
Paul, I go and I'm busy. I just sending love to you while I'm going and drive now. So hugs and kisses.
Have a great day. Be safer on the roads.
Let me read it just in case.
So in other news,
Let me
now
read this quick,
there is
Richard. Let me read this quick. Heifers are female cows who have not yet given birth to a calf. Farmers can raise heifers for dairy or for meat. In the 1830s, heifer, which is pronounced heifer, was first used as slang for woman or girl. Since then, it took on the meaning of a female who is obese. I just thought I should read that. Go ahead now.
Okay. So apparently the Jamaica and the United States are on a diplomatic standoff.
We spoke about it this morning.
Yeah. So you all read the story then?
Yes.
We just
Yes.
spoke about it.
We even went down the road of Elton John when he had to come here to perform for jazz and so on.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you all spoke about it because I'm now reading the daily that has the story.
Yeah.
Which is the Express. Which
Maybe
is
we could do a poll.
I think it's kind of silly on Jamaica's part, quite frankly, because if a country has partnerships or marriages that are legal there, and they're saying, look, this is our diplomat, and we want to come in, what's your purpose in denying it?
Because they don't have it as a law, Richard.
Yeah, but it's still that person's partner, and that's the accredited diplomat. And when a diplomat comes into a country, they're coming as a representative of that country that they come from. And where they stay is considered part of that country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
And the rights afforded them in their own country.
But Jamaica has a point there now.
Jamaica is just being silly.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's causing it's going a little further than that, and the Americans are now sending back 3 Jamaicans.
Well, they asked apparently Jamaica asked for 3 of their diplomats to extend their stay, and the US has refused. They said, no, but we're not extending their stay, and of course I can't fault the United States here in terms of saying, well, if you are giving us difficulty from a diplomatic point of view, because that's how diplomacy works. It's almost like a tit for tat.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it is that you are not
Two hands to
giving
clap.
me graciousness, why should I be gracious to you?
As I said before, in the end, the US will show them that you need me more than I need you.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it's a silly Jamaican decision. Jamaica, please.
Wake up. We have some calls. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Hi, morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. I just want to say, I don't want to call the caller's name, but I think callers need to understand that they can't take things personal when they're interfacing with the program, right? So that's probably just his problem. But in any case, yesterday I was having a discussion if when the law was drafted, if that was the intent. And my co-workers were saying maybe they didn't see it. And I told them, no, I believe that was the intent. So they were asking me how I could say that. I told them, I said, every opportunity the drafters of this legislation had, they said that they would make the country ungovernable. We heard that more than twice from them. They will shut down the country. Blood will flow on the streets. So I have no doubt. I'm not saying that they did it, but I have no doubt that maybe that was the intent.
What with the
Think
procurement?
about that, you know, Sonny.
Yeah, the procurement legislation you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
You mean because the UNC was the one who initially drafted it?
Well, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I don't understand how come I don't understand how come it only now people realize that this would happen.
Well, that's not necessarily true because
I think your logic is a little bit stretchy. It's stretching the circumstances of how it would have been done. Procurement legislation and modern procurement legislation is a feature of most democratic countries today. So we needed that. Now, you can draft procurement legislation and have it on books and it passes, whatever. But I think the current administration was under pressure increasingly from various sectors, not only the opposition, but also from the private sector, to ensure that this procurement legislation was passed. Now, the procurement regulator, when last we spoke to Afro Raymond, the then procurement regulator had suggested that there be a 6-month grace period to tweak whatever was required. The current administration did not do that. They said it's applicable from day one, which I think was the first mistake.
Yes.
If there was that 6-month grace, then it would have been much more seamless in moving to the amendments without all of these difficulties.
And added to that, Richard, a lot of these issues were raised by the judiciary, and I think the Prime Minister and other persons in the debate in both houses last time around cited Jamaica and the challenges, the similar challenges Jamaica had. Because you're moving from one system to another, it's never going to be seamless. You can minimize the interruption, but it's only when you actually put it in practice you will see where the loopholes are, and you have to try to fix them.
Yeah.
With as many safeguards as possible, I hasten to add, as possible, so that it does not dilute the intent of the legislation. Because at the end of the day, if it's diluted to a point, it wouldn't make any sense. The same issues that have arisen before would still be present. And that's where the safeguards need to come into play.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Sonny.
Okay, take care.
All right, all the best. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Yes, I take the view that when the Prime Minister passed legislation to the esteemed Attorney General, who replaced the other esteemed Attorney General, that, they would have, as I would have said on another matter, run some mental simulations as to if this happens, what would happen here, the if, then, and if what, and, what happens if this and what happens if that. And we have experience of things that happen. So I find that after all these years of all this vetting and so many people looking into it and this legislation existing in so many places, we should not be taking the trial and error approach. I mean, it's not like we are attempting to land on the dark side of the moon with nobody on board. That we could just afford to lose a few, Here it is that this thing has been done so many times. It is written in so many people's laws, and we vetted it. We gave the AG a last chance, and nobody saw this.
Mr. Pinal, I am so in agreement with you this morning. I'm in agreement with you because I'm saying the same thing. Come on, why are you putting that out there if you know it's going to cause these problems? But I also want to add to that now too. The opposition will also be aware that something is wrong with it. So why aren't they supporting it?
Listen, you maybe think you might be in agreement with whoever. What I am saying is that before it was passed, a whole lot of this could have been foreseen.
You agree with me?
Yeah, that's what you say,
I don't agree with me.
Listen, let's forget about who is agreeing with who, because we could just twist one line in that and it ends up with, you agree with the PNM position, Mr. Pinal. That's what he's
And that's such a bad thing, Mr. Pinal.
That's where he's going with it. Right?
Not easy.
This thing is established all around the place, and we know how we procure goods here, and I just don't feel that we should be in a situation where we keep kicking ourselves and stumbling over ourselves to do some repair. I just don't like that at all. Thank you.
All right.
I don't agree with him at all. But no matter what it is, do not agree with me.
Actually, they say, you agree
with me. I agree with you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Add this procurement legislation. I'm a low-level public servant in the government service. Since the 26th of April, this thing ain't working at all. The purpose of this, value for money, right? The whole purpose of procurement is for government service to have value for money. Anything under $2 million in government service is highly competitive bidding. If you want to look for transparency and prevent corruption and all those things, how much profit and corruption is really in goods and services under $2 million? Very little, right? Then you have real profit that really come from projects for $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, $40 million, $100 million, right? You can't even buy a stapler, staples, tires, do basic oil change in the government service anymore. Quickly, right now, public servants are pulling money out of their pocket to keep vehicles running because of this foolish law, right? Mm-hmm. This was designed for major construction projects, and they try to scoop up every single government procurement practice inside of it. Because real profit comes from construction projects, not these small little things that are under $1 million, and I could even go further, $2 million. This law was designed for construction projects.
God, I think we just lost you because it sounded like you got.
Yeah, but I understand exactly what he's saying, and
I hear you.
and he's absolutely correct.
And because you have the 3-quote system anyway for things under $1 million, and you're right, it is very competitive. Because, and it's quick to get the 3 quotes, and you could select on the basis of what you're looking for in terms of price, quality, etc. But it's a quicker process than having to, go through the procurement requirements, which is why I think they want to put a minimum level. Which just makes sense. And that part of it, I have no problem with because I see the sensibility of it. I also want to congratulate Scotiabank for being named the best bank in Trinidad and Tobago. And Scotiabank, I think it's well deserved, not only because I'm a member of Scotiabank, but because I'm also a member of Republic Bank. And Republic Bank, until you change those archaic 19th century machines that you all have, I will never consider you all the best bank in this country. You all could say whatever your tagline is. What is the Republic Bank tagline again? We in this together, what it is?
I can't remember. For you or
Republic Bank, those archaic ATM machines are ridiculous in 2023. I don't know who's in charge of ATMs and your digital transformation, but those ATM machines are ridiculous in this day and age. You have to look for an envelope sometimes to be able to deposit in the machine. Seriously, Republic Bank?
Yeah.
Seriously? Sometimes people have to go into the bank and say, can I get an envelope?
Yes.
Seriously?
And you literally had to beg for it. When I went there, the security guard gave me 2 envelopes because I made a deposit. So I'm asking the girl, can I get an envelope? She said, it's only for when you're making a deposit. I said, but I want to make a deposit next time I come. I just made one. The guy said, what is the accent? And he slipped around the corner and hand me 2 of the envelopes.
Isn't that ridiculous?
What craziness is this?
It's ridiculous. Come on. Do better, man. Come on, Republic Bank. I like Republic Bank, but do better.
I do
better.
too. I do too.
Scotiabank has constantly modernized their app. They keep updating their app. You have business people, business advisors that you could get on the app. You can call Scotiabank any time of the day. They can reference your account and give you information quickly. You can deposit quickly in Scotiabank and it's instantly credited if it's cash. Unlike Scotiabank, because you deposit it in the envelope and the envelope have to go through a system of overnighting before it comes into your account. That doesn't happen with Scotia. It's instantly there.
Well, while I'm talking about
Scotiabank, you don't need an envelope at all.
I want to lay a complaint about First Citizens because while I was outside, a suspicious transaction came up on my credit card. And let me tell you something. You are number 12 in the queue. Okay? That automated system and emergency call line on First Citizens app needs to be upgraded.
Yeah. We look on Monday. I got an alert that my credit card was being used at PetSmart in Phoenix, Arizona. It was declined. But when I did call him, I got through one time.
Republic Bank.
Republic Bank.
Yeah, Republic Bank. I like their credit card system for that.
Their alert system is really good. Their alert system is good.
It immediately alerts.
Immediate. Sometimes it's still at the
system alerted me, but trying to get through to tell the bank that this transaction should not be honored because I did not execute it. Took me like 12 hours.
What?
Because you're in queue and then the thing cut off and then you have to go back in the queue and all kind of foolishness.
I hate that.
Is that's a toll-free number?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. Next thing you know,
Well, there's a
nothing
number
news
back
like
your
Champa.
credit card which is toll-free.
Hey, Paul? Next thing you know, you end up in the news like Champa for roaming charges.
So here,
roaming charges are not that bad, What they get you with is the data charges.
No, I
So
had
you
a UK SIM card
Yeah.
from Cara Communication. I wouldn't have that
Oh,
problem.
yes. Isn't Cara Communications a lifesaver?
Oh,
Is that the
yes.
same one you bought at the airport there, Rich?
Yes, they
They
are
got on top of the
lifesaver.
escalator.
$300, $400, and $500 and unlimited. You can run them up.
And unlimited, they are a lifesaver. If you don't, if you've passed that booth on your way out, stop.
Stop.
Stop and get a card. And get
Stop
a
and
SIM
get a
card.
card.
You know,
Trust me.
every time I remember,
Because your WhatsApp remains the same, so people can contact you via WhatsApp.
That's right.
Every time, you know, when
Really?
I remember that when I already passed the booth and going through, you know, I remember you talking about a card.
Yep.
It is a wonderful facility.
Yep, it does.
And you have data, you're on internet all the way through. You could use your Google Maps, you could whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna try.
I remember when I was in New York, I was using because there's an app in New York for walking, and because you know sometimes when you're trying to find a place, it's hell. And trust me, I was using my data to find where I needed to go. I just followed my
primary
phone.
thing is
to
safe.
left, to right.
You can make WhatsApp calls on the move. You can use Google. You can have all your digital facilities available to you for just $300, $400, or $500.
Yep.
I'm going to try it. I'm glad you said it again. I'm going to try it.
It's worth
Very
it.
much worth it.
And they're very helpful too. They do the entire.
And
They
call you after to make sure that it's working properly. Very good service.
Very good service. Yep.
They call you
So
the
a
day
guy-
after. Is the system working properly? Okay, thank you. Try it, Brenda.
Still ain't come up with
apparently
with a phone that you could actually use on a plane yet, though, are they? Have they?
No, when I went to New York last time, well, JetBlue was Wi-Fi all the way through the flight, except landing and takeoff.
What? Because somehow or the other, those things, they always advertise it, but you do
Watch me. Perfectly, except for landing and takeoff.
Okay.
Which airline is this?
JetBlue.
This is the onboard Wi-Fi you're talking about? Oh, okay.
The Maxi and the Sky planes you're talking about.
So a man's vehicle was stolen on Broadway in Port of Spain. So
Broadway?
Pleasant Street Police, yes, are investigating a report of a robbery in Port of Spain on Monday morning. The victim, a 48-year-old man from Aruca, told police that around 2 a.m. he was parked and seated in his red hatchback Nissan Tida, facing south along Broadway in the vicinity of Bargain's Drugs. Now, Bargain's Drugs is really on the northern side, so I don't know how you're facing south, maybe on the opposite side.
Could be.
Yeah, maybe on the opposite side. So he's facing south. When all of a sudden he felt a sharp object placed against his neck. At 2 o'clock in the morning on Broadway in Port of Spain on a Monday morning, you have your windows down?
Yeah, relaxing in your car.
Relaxing in your car?
Crazy.
Like you're in Maracas? You're on Broadway in Port of Spain.
Yeah.
But that you now, don't get me wrong, you should be able to, but the circumstances of where you
That's
live.
not the reality of the situation.
No.
So he felt a sharp object against his neck. A man then announced a hold-up and ordered the victim out of the car. The suspect then entered the vehicle and drove off. I mean,
Nah,
thank God
something
nothing-
missing from that story.
the
Because most
police
times
would
you
know.
see
I-
somebody park up. Most times you see
Tell me
somebody
which one.
park up in town. You feel them up to no good. You ain't marking them to be for you to be up to no good. You feel them is the person who up to no good. So for somebody to walk up to you, they had to be monitoring you for a while.
But he was waiting on KFC.
You understand? Down there?
Somebody went inside to buy KFC. But why you
So
have
you
your
could have
windows
made the
down?
block and come back in front.
No, you would wait. You would pull to the side and wait. I could see that happening, but I can't see putting down the window.
The window down and the door unlocked.
And the door not locked. I don't see that part.
That's craziness.
Yeah, that kind of. He was just taking a smoke or something.
Probably. That could be an explanation.
Or on the phone.
You're parking up no Broadway at no 2 o'clock in the morning.
Window don't go down at all by me.
Because generally, people are around there, you know, so people must have, well, not to mention the amount of cameras. So they're supposed to arrest that person.
Suppose.
But when the knife press against your neck, At some point, the knife had to move away from the neck for the commodity car, not so?
You would think so.
Yes.
But I guess he must have been scared.
No, that story missing parts.
You can't keep the knife pressed against the neck for the commodity car. You do have to open at some point.
You do have to open.
We don't know if it's a knife or not. He just says something cool.
He said a sharp object. A sharp object implies a knife.
Was it a sharp object?
That's what you said. If you read the story. Anyway, you all have a great
Yes,
one.
You're right. It is a sharp object. So you're right.
Be safe and have a wonderful Wednesday.
Morning, Mr.
Yes.
Amjad Ali.
Oh,
Good morning, Amjad.
Amjad. Yeah, so it is Wednesday. It is midweek already, people. So have a fantastic Wednesday, whatever you do. And of course, wherever you are, reminding you, I forgot to mention it for the entire day this morning, that theater is on next week, Saturday and Sunday. Wendell, are you by Rumbox today?
Yes, I am.
From what time?
I'm going there right after I finish radio here. I'm heading down
What
there
time?
by
You should be there by
10,
9.
by 10, 11.
Okay. Okay, right. So anyway,
By
so
10, yeah.
because Rumbox is one of the places you can get tickets, and they'll get their tickets today. Pet Butler already has their tickets. For What You're Looking at Me So For, a play that was the name of the play was inspired by incidents in Wendell Stevens' life. What You're Looking at Me So For.
All right.
It starts
Remember, we
next
got to
week,
run.
Saturday and Sunday at Central Bank Auditorium. Check RSR Productions Theatre on Facebook for more details. Have a great one, people, whatever you do.
All right, folks, have a wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. Take care.
All right. Let's get into our news brief. If he's in.
This